All right, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Psykos, Platters, always powered by coffee each and every time. I promise you two things in the Psykos Platters broadcasts. Number one, always powered by this coffee each and every time. Number two, I promise you, no pre-recorded backing tracks on Psykos Platters. See what I did there? Hey, look, Blockhead, you're the first one to come on. Usually it's AZ, Mick, or Greg. You got on here this time. How are you? How are you? And you know what? Yes, thank you so very much. April 1st, go figure. April 1st, this channel, after being on the air and episodes, of 12 years, 12 years, and in about a dozen so episodes, it'll be 650 episodes I have done. Well, thank you. I'm glad you popped on in. You take care of yourself, okay? You know what, Walrus? Thank you. Because 100,000, now for some channels, obviously 100,000 views is nothing to them. The ones that get, they already probably have 1 million views or something. But you know what? It took me so long. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. And I mean that wholeheartedly. Because doing this for 12 years, this is a labor of love for me. This has always been a labor of love. I just to give you kind of a brief history on things, that when I started on the channel 12 years ago, the reason why I started a YouTube account was actually to audition to be the public service announcer for the Chicago Cubs. Okay, so you know how you've got your TV and radio announcers for a sports team, right? So I'm probably saying it wrong. The public address announcer. In other words, in for Wrigley Field, now batting, number 52, that kind of stuff. That's what I was going for. And for you to be able to audition for that, you had to leave a short YouTube video. If you go way back, way back, and let me see if I could do my bad Jack Brickhouse impression for the Cubs. It might be. It could be. It is. He always used to go that it is. Well, no. I would have worked at Wrigley Field, is what it really is. I would have worked at Wrigley Field. I would have had my own, announcing booth for being the Cubs public address. But it didn't work out because, well, I'm a schmuck doing this. But that's actually not the first time that I have come close to dabbling in sports announcing. There was another time in the 90s where I was this close to being one of the public address announcers for the Rockford Lightning at the Rockford Metro Center. Yes, thank you. That's right. Thank you, Tammy. That's exactly right. Hey, Greg, how are you? Glad to see everybody here. I know there's multiple different broadcasts going on right now, I think. Maybe Michael Pilmer, I think, just ended his, or he's getting ready to end it because, you got the noise cacophony, which I really like. But because I work till 8 o'clock, I can't join in on Thursdays. And then I want to say Doc Dacus, I don't know if he's still going. He was talking about going 6:30, 7 o'clock. But I figured, you know what? After finding out about the 100,000 views, which we hit that milestone April 1st, that wasn't an April Fool's joke for once, ladies and gentlemen. It really happened, and I'm really happy about it. I've seen this channel grow, and it's all because of you guys. It's all because of you. I'm being serious here. It ain't me. Anybody could do this. Anybody could do this. but I like to entertain and educate. That's all I've ever tried to do with Psychos Platters. So after that Chicago Cub announcing attempt, the audition, um, we went and started doing another thing, which was called the Etc. Show with Paul Pease. I did that for a few years. Thank you. Thank you very much for letting me know that, because I know sometimes it's great, sometimes not. We got everybody sharing the love here, gang. We like that. So, so we did the Etc. Show with Paul Pease. That was about maybe 51 episodes. Sometimes we'd shoot them in various different places all throughout Northwest Arkansas. Some of those places are no longer there anymore. I can't explain, but like buildings got torn down, and I shot one from an English phone booth. That's no longer there anymore. I shot one in front of an old timey donut shop that got destroyed the next day. I shot another one at Lake Atalanta, which was a touristy thing in Rogers, Arkansas. The buildings got torn down within a week. Montenay was a big one. They shortly after I shot that episode, the U.S. Department of Engineering, so involved with the Army, they put a fence around it so you couldn't even go in that because it was slowly collapsing into the lake. But yeah, if you guys are ever bored, and I know you're like, yeah, right. I got 600, well, this will be what, 638 episodes on this channel. And you got concert clips. I got mystery clips. I got concert clips. Out of all the times I shot concerts, and I'll admit some are in better quality than others, but I mean, you'll find Primus, the Monkees, John Oates, uh, stuff like that, a Candlebox. You'll find all different kinds of stuff I shot. The only one that ever dinged me, and it wasn't the band, because I got permission from the only member of the band that mattered in these issues, and they gave me permission. But guess what? Warner Music Australia is who dinged me almost about 10 years ago, actually, for Little River Band. And I'm like, thanks, Warner Music Australia, you douche. I can say that. Not to be confused with Pass the Dutchie on the Left Front Side. That's a completely different other musical youth we won't talk about today. You know what, Greg? I'm going to tell you. Like I said, it's you guys, it's the audience here that makes me feel energized. Well, this and the coffee, of course, each and every time. I need a sponsorship from from the coffee companies. But so let's see. And recently, of course, auditioning for Spawn Stars for Son of Svengoolie, which I don't think they're ever going to show my damn clip. I don't know. There's just too many of them. I heard hundreds and hundreds of entries. So I guess I really shouldn't feel butthurt about it. But, I mean, I shot it around Christmas time. Maybe they figure that because a little bit of it was seasonal, it's too late to show it. I don't know. But that's why I showed it on YouTube. I wanted you guys to know that this is what I turned into Me TV. So concert clips, Chicago Cubs audition, Svengoolie audition, etc. show with Paul Pease. There's another channel that I actually missed that I did. It's not just me on this one, though, guys. We had three people. We had me, Doug Fields, host of the Vinyl Grotto radio show, and Grant Dobbin. Those three are what made the Knights of the Round Turn Table where all are unstable. And we only ended up shooting 3 episodes, unfortunately. And sometime soon, I see. The problem is I can't get into the channel, but I'll tell you now. Let's see if I can do this. I think it's this channel. Forgive me a minute, guys. And I enjoyed making those shows along with Doug and Grant, but I think the reason why that show died, well, my internet, you want to talk about internet? We filmed all of these things. We didn't do them live because 10 years ago we didn't have that capability. Anyways, I think that's the name of it, is Night Talk or Night's Talk for Knights of the Round Table. And so, you're talking about my being a former disc jockey of 7 years, record collector for, well, let's see, back then it would have been about 30, 35 years. And Doug, he's got 10 more years of collecting experience on me, and he's also a former disc jockey too. And Grant Dobbin, he ended up, he worked at a vintage stock and then a Guitar Center, and he was in his early to mid 20s. And so we were trying, like, for example, one of the things that Grant showed us was Mac DeMarco. That's how I found out about Mac, before most people did. It was fun. The thing is that, like I said, that it was, we shot it at a coffee shop, and sometimes the grinders would go off, and then if it wasn't that, it was the train, which was a block away. I'm like, oh, this is ridiculous. And somewhere in the vault, hey Trish, how you doing? Somewhere in the vault, there is an unreleased 2-part episode of Knights of the Round Table where we delved into jazz. For all the jazz bums, the jazz junkies, if you will. I thought that was actually pretty fascinating episodes. I know they were in the editing phase, and for some reason, that's all, and I cannot obtain those episodes. I don't even know where that person is anymore, and it kind of just upsets me some, to say the least. So we've done all of these things for the last 12 years. Jukebox from Hell, which is the newest sub-series, which, by the way, yep, here comes commercial time. So this episode for Peter Criss's Out of Control for September 1980 was released on my channel this morning. Almost got 100 views in 12 hours. I was actually very surprised and very pleased, okay? I really love doing this series. I just do. It's wonderful. So that was the 5th episode. The 6th episode of Jukebox from Hell is going to be from October 1994, ELO Part 2, Moment of Truth. Is there going to be moments of truth on this? You betcha. But we'll get that all figured out for next time. I really do love shooting those episodes. I have had people that have sent me private messages asking me, what is the intent of Jukebox from Hell? Some people have thought that all I was going to do was butcher these albums and put them down. Not really. That's not the total intent. We try to be musical detectives, and we dive into these albums. All right. Were they worth the scorn that the critics and the fans did? Was it worth it? The body of evidence in the albums or CDs, is it worth it? And we examine it, and we do the behind the scenes story and such. And I really like doing them. I come up with like such interesting, mind-blowing minutiae sometimes when doing these things. But I do want to say this, though, okay? So, like I said, we just showed this. I would love to find a 1982 original Peter Criss Let Me Rock You. And I don't know if you guys know about that album, but that's the first time that you see part of a KISS member's Face before, of course, Kiss's Lick It Up, where they go off, and you got Gene Paul, Vinnie Vincent, and Eric Carr. But on the Let Me Rock You album, you've got people like Steve Stevens from Billy Idol's band involved. You've got Gene Simmons actually co-wrote a song. Vinnie Vincent co-wrote a song. But this is in '82, but it did not get US or UK release. So I'm looking for an original on that. Now, Rockologists, they did finally put some reissue on vinyl. I may end up having to get a copy that way. I also know that in Japan, for the Let Me Rock You album, they did not show Peter's face. They decided to go with a very strange cover that basically showed Japanese traffic like at nighttime, and you just see it says, Peter Criss, Let Me Rock You. Well, I'm sorry your nephew is late, as in past, but I love Kiss, okay? I really, really do, but I'm so sick of the dysfunctional, between the original Fearsome Foursome, okay? I mean, Peter's been smart, and he's been staying out of it as of late, and I'm like, that's pretty cool, because he used to, of course, join in on this stuff. And if you like Kiss, okay, I'll tell you this. Ace is my favorite. Ace has always been my favorite in that band. I don't want to say Peter's the least. Sometimes it alternates between Paul and Peter, to be honest. I think if anybody, the people I liked out of there was Ace and Gene. Those are the two. But as far as for who are probably the better personalities, Ace and Peter. I really do. Gene and Paul, I don't know, whatever. I'm not really dissing on anybody, I guess. And you can't, out of the Fearsome Foursome, I love Eric Carr. I think he was great. He was a great replacement drummer for Peter. And it's just too bad, that he passed away the way he did. But I kept hearing weird stories that that possibly after the Revenge album, which is the one that Eric Singer came and took over pretty much, that possibly after the Revenge album, Eric was going to get let go. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I've heard whispers about this on and off over the years. So, but yes. So if you guys come up with any future albums that I should examine for Jukebox from Hell, let me know either here or in the comments of one of the episodes. We've done 5 now. And like I said, the 6th will be next week. And then after that, I got something up my sleeve. I don't have any new vinyl finds per se, but I do happen to have some CD finds that I don't think I showed these to you guys. This was within the last month. The book used book place in town run by the library decided to have 50% off CDs. So I ended up with The Deepest Soul of Otis Redding on Volt for $0.25. It says 50 cents, but it's really 25 cents. So here's the front. Here's the back. They're all nice and minty, by the way. This one here, I ended up paying also 25 cents. I didn't know that J.J. Cale and Eric Clapton did an album, Escondo. So can't wait to listen to that. Of course, J.J. Cale, Oklahoman, who, of course, has been gone now. I like his stuff. Here's another album that I really can't wait to explore. I think the rest of these I only paid $1 a piece for. Basically, though, this is Leon Russell's final studio album, Elton John, Leon Russell, The Union. And if I remember correctly, this is 2010, 2011. But I'm very curious about this. This is on Decca Records / Rocket, so Decca Rocket imprint. I love both these guys, to be honest with you. I got to see Leon Russell perform twice, and I can't say I got to meet him afterwards because He had the brain surgery and the heart surgery, so really he wasn't going to deal with that. But he loved fan interaction anyway. And so if you went to the bus, which was always parked across from Woodstock Opera House in Woodstock, Illinois, that's where he performed both times, that you'd go and make a nice orderly line in front of the steps of the bus, and the band member would go and take into groups stuff for Leon to sign. I've got bunches of vinyl over those 2 visits. So I really am happy about that. Yes, I can't wait to listen to that. And yes, I love Otis also. So to get that for a quarter was great. Here's another one I'm really curious about. This one here, 1997 on Magna Carta, Black Light Syndrome, Terry Bozzio, Tony Levin, and Steve Stevens. How about that for a combination, huh? I didn't even know they made an album, so I cannot wait to listen to this. 3 great musicians right there. To go from 3 great musicians to an album that, oh boy. But for $1, I wasn't going to let this go. Double disc. Paul McCartney. Chaos and Creation in the Backyard. Nice photo. Who knows? This might end up in a Jukebox from Hell episode. I don't know. We'll see. I can't remember what the second disc. I think it's a DVD for the set. Yeah, it is. Yeah, special edition with DVD. So for $1, I couldn't pass that. All these nice and minty. You like old school country? Maybe, possibly. How about Pee Wee King's Country Hoedown, 51 unreleased recordings on 2 CDs. Yeah. This was a Goodwill find. I hit the color and got it for $1. Of course, back when CDs were cheap at Goodwill, because you can't say that now. You just can't. And trying to figure out the label on this. I actually have a signed Pee Wee King. Oh boy, this is funny. The happiest, wildest country western shindig to come your way. Yes, yes, yes. So looking forward to that. But yeah, I've got Pee Wee King's autograph. Go figure. I found it in South Central Missouri. I was going through hundreds and hundreds of albums. And I ended up, they were $1 a piece. I found that, and I found a signed Conway Twitty. Got them each for $1 a piece. Now this guy here, I know he's from Australia. And I love it that he dated this thing. October 1st, 2013, he signed it. 2 CDs. Tommy Emmanuel, Little by Little. I cannot wait to actually hear this. I know he's big in Australia. I know that much. So all the Australia fans will dig this. But yeah, very, very nicely done. And I know that Tommy did perform here in the area several times. I want to say the last time maybe would have been before COVID. I want to say 2017, 2018, he came back to Fayetteville, Arkansas, to get a signed copy of that. And then lastly, I like this album. I always like this album. Keith Richards and the Expensive Winos, Talk is Cheap, from 1988. You know, Keith could still pull good stuff too. The single off of here, if I remember correctly, is Take It So Hard. I think that's what it is. Produced by Keith Richards and Steve Jordan. Of course, Steve Jordan is the new drummer of the Stones. But yeah, so, I mean, all kinds of fun on that for CD finds and such. So, I don't know about you guys, but when I introduced myself in the episode here earlier, I was joking around about at least you're guaranteed no backing tracks. I don't know what you guys think about all this. That Mick Mars lawsuit, he's saying he got kicked out. See, I'm confused because I thought Mick Mars was still a member of Motley Crue. He just wasn't a touring member, and that's why John Five was there. All right, so I don't get it, and it's just a big mess. There's, to me, I mean, this almost smacks of the Bunny Carlos Cheap Trick debacle. If you remember that, I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of that completely. I mean, you're talking that happened 10 years ago for that. But, I mean, Mick was going off and he was saying that Vince Neil was recording, used backing tracks, and Neil Six went off and used backing tracks, and Tommy Lee used backing tracks on this last tour. And I'm just sitting here and I'm going, all right, look, I don't know what you guys think about this, all right? All of our heroes and bands and everything else. Yeah, I've heard things about that too. I really have, Tammy. But, I mean, it's like, I love the old Crew stuff, okay? I think I've brought this up in the past, but I'd say my favorites probably would be Too Fast for Love, Shout at the Devil, and Dr. Feelgood. All right, those are my favorite. Oh, and Motley Crue 94. Yeah, I know it's got John Corabi, but guess what? That thing deserved better, all right? It's just different. That's all it is. It's just different. Hello there, sir. But, so I'm just like, I should have went and saw Motley Crue, but now I just don't care to. Okay, I've heard things anyway, especially with Vince's singing, but what I really would like to see, to be honest with you, is that Mick Mars solo album. He's been working on that for years. It's like, is that ever going to come out? It's just like, what was it, for years and years, John Sykes, remember him? Thin Lizzy, Whitesnake, Blue Murder, Tigers of Pantang. He supposedly worked on an album for a very long time, maybe decades now. I get confused. Did you get hit by any of the tornadoes? Arkansas was hit, Jim. I'm not going to lie to you on that. But we didn't get touched. Not up here in Northwest Arkansas. I can't say that about East Little Rock and a few of the communities around there. But that was, as far as I know, that was the only ones. I mean, I still feel bad that the Apollo in Belvedere, Illinois got nailed and collapsed and everything. You can't do much about natural disasters, guys. And what I mean by natural disasters has nothing to do, oh boy, with earthquake and, oh God, what the hell was the other guy's name? Yokozuna. It has nothing to do with the Natural Disasters Tag Team in WWF. Yeah, I said WWF. Yes, and thank you, and prayers to all affected indeed. Tornado warnings around me, but nothing in town. Well, at least it wasn't a Texas tornado, which of course then Doug Sam and Freddie Fender would be involved in. See what I did there? That was horrible, wasn't it? Yeah, never said that everything was going to be great jokes. See, now I'm thinking in my skull, Dwight from The Office going, tornadoes are no joke, Jim. Good old, meet me in St. Louis, Louis. Jim, we got to hang sometime the next time I come through St. Louis. I really would like to go back and visit Illinois in 2023 here. I just can't promise. I can't even promise to my mom, and that's why I'm going, is to see my mom and my friends. Yeah, I bet. I bet. I mean, I know Cubs won opening day. That's all I really know. Ah, yes, yes, yes. We're talking baseball. Mickey and the Duke. I know. I should know that whole fucking song. I don't. Steve Goodman. That's who did that song originally. I've heard about a couple good record stores. We all would need to go. Oh, that's right. I forgot about the XFL. How would I forget about the XFL? Especially when Vinnie Mac is running it still, I think, right? Or did he sell XFL like he did with WWE? Is now sold to the parent company of UFC. John Cena lost. Yeah. Yeah, he didn't do real good that day, did he? At least Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn won over the Usos. But, I should have known, because they won, that Cody was not going to go and beat Roman Reigns. Because now the goal is Roman Reigns wants to have the championship for 1,000 days, which, if I remember correctly, now is mid-May. So he'll go into Backlash at least being the champion. But the whole Brock Lesnar beating up Cody Rhodes thing, what the heck? I don't know. Gave him a couple F5s. How rude. Ah, yes, the Red Sox. Oh, that's right. That's right. The Rock does on the. Can you smell what the XFL is cooking? Oh, boy. I was watching it. Really, Jim? You watched that one? I actually enjoyed that video. I really, if you guys don't know what he's talking about, I used to do a lot of new music and archival music reviews, but it's called this, and I'm having a hard time finding new releases and such. I gotta go to resale shop. You know what? I'll tell you something. They should have put it out in mono. It was a big mistake. Either that or put it in a mono stereo and made it a double disc or a 3-disc. Okay, they screwed up on that. They really, really did. I'm gonna have to look in my record collection. I know I have a stereo copy original, but I don't know if I have a mono anymore. I never got what the appeal of mono is compared to stereo, which is superior to me. Okay, but here's the thing, though, Mike. Okay, so if the record was released in '68 or before, most of the time the mono was great. Now, saying that, stereo came out on the scene in 59, 60 roughly. Some of those stereo 45s are great, but boy, they command a premium for that early stereo stuff, okay? But then you got these record companies that, like Capitol, or shall we say Crapital in this case, that in the early to mid 60s used that stupid duophonic bullshit, which they should never have done that. I mean, Phil Spector was right. Back to mono would have been the best. But yeah, I mean, if an album was originally released up till 1968, most of the time, mono is the better version due to, like I said, these companies that did rechanneled stereo. It just didn't sound right. That's right. That's absolutely right. So, now saying that, eventually, and I've said this before on this channel, that one of the things, there's several mono releases that I am still looking for. Whether or not I ever get them is another thing. So, but April 1968, The Birds, the Bees, the Monkeys, the 5th album from the Monkees on Cold Gems. Supposedly only 25 to 30,000 genuine U.S. copies were made. I really wanted original Cold Gems. I could settle for trying to get a real mono and foreign, but you got to be careful. Some of them are fold downs, which can be a little ridiculous. Have you all heard Let It Be Naked? Different subject, but some of the songs, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't have that CD, and I probably will end up seeking it out. See, and that's pretty damn cool. I remember, Mike, I'll leave your comment up for a second. One of the things I always wanted, and this was a pre-CD age, or hell, maybe even when CDs were way too expensive, I wanted some of those Get Back box sets. Like they called the Black Album was one of them. 3 LPs worth of stuff. I wanted those so bad back then. I almost ended up with one, to be honest. Yeah, electronically processed stereo fish. Yeah, well. Yeah, but yeah, so Birds, Bees, Monkeys, and Mono, April 68. November 1968, UK White Album in mono. I want a genuine UK White Album. I would love that. And yes, you can hear the differences, okay? I remember buying rarities in 1980. And that was the first time that us Beatle fans in the US got to hear some of the differences. And I really liked it. Yeah, I would not be surprised now on that 83 CDs. I was very grateful for, I'm trying to remember now, guys, okay? Thanksgiving 2021, right? Was when the Get Back movie, the 3 nights on Disney came out. I still need to get that set, that DVD set. Although I still think they made a big mistake not putting some extras. Peter Jackson wanted extras. I'm like, and I'm thank God for Peter Jackson working on that, him and his crew. That Get Back documentary was, you're right. My dad passed away in 2015. Oh, I wish he could have seen it, as I think it made us all realize they weren't as... You know what? Exactly, Jim. And I'll tell you now, I thank Peter Jackson for doing that. for letting us see it in that light. Yeah, 83 CDs. But even Peter was all for 30 minutes to an hour of extra footage. He wanted it on those packages. And I'm like, even Peter Jackson couldn't get it on there because it was the whole Disney Apple bullshit. I mean, or are they just going to wait? I mean, I don't know how much more they could milk it, for the Beatles fans. I say this, that Get Back might have been the last real big Beatles event, if you will. Probably it's going to come out. I hope I'm wrong. I really am. My dad passed exactly 3 days before Brian Epstein. So you're talking August 1967, if I remember correctly. I think he would have enjoyed them more if he'd lived longer. Yeah, you know what? Exactly. And I'll admit it. I'll admit this, okay? I'm ashamed to say that I did not get a chance to watch all of those anthology videos in 96. Okay? I did watch, I think, what was it? They was on for, how many nights was that thing on? 3 or 4 nights in a row on ABC? I think I only got to watch half of it. When it ended up on VHS, ended up on DVD, and every time that the DVD box set would come up, it would be so ridiculously priced, I couldn't even afford it. They need to put it on Blu-ray, and they need to add a bunch of extra stuff, okay? They can now. Um, and my friend Doug Fields from the Vinyl Grotto, he's got the Laserdisc box set. It's beautiful. I tell you what, I just love Little Heather's facial. I know, right? Oh, that was funny. That and pretending to scare Ringo with the symbol. That was funny. Oh, three nights in '95. Okay, yeah. They yes, they definitely Blu-ray with extras. I think would be great. It's been too long. Also, out of all honesty, they need to reissue them. I don't know how much they could do in regards to remix or remaster or whatever, but I still say, and I'm going to say this till I'm dead, that they could definitely do an anthology four. There is enough material. Firstly, and yes, I know, Carnival of Light, maybe it'll never come out, but you know what? We need it. We deserve it. No matter how good or bad it is. Damn it. We want the 14 minutes or 17 minutes or whatever the hell it is. I also want, supposedly there was a 28-minute version of Helter Skelter. Let's have it. Let's have it. I wonder if the 28-minute version is really where Ringo goes, or was it Ringo or John, guys, that said, "Oh, go blisters on my fingers." Well, yeah, if you're playing 28 fucking minutes straight, of course you're going to have it. Just throwing that out there. Yeah, maybe they could pull with Disney and get a Get Back set with ours. Like, of course we want it, and you know what? We'll pay for it too. Oh no, not this again. Well, I'm sorry about that. I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything. I didn't touch anything, I swear. No sound. Oh, not this again. I'm not even shown being muted. Hang on a second. Can you guys hear me? Out of curiosity? If you guys can hear me, somebody say something in the comments. Because I'll just take them off of this. Because I'm not worried about it. Now I echo. Shit. See, that's what I was damn afraid of. Thanks, Donna. going to piss me off. I'll tell you that right now.
Am I on? Can you hear?
On, but hang on a second. All right, try again. Richard. Richard. Richard.
All right, so I'm on.
All right.
They can't hear Paul.
Yeah, because I had to do something with the volume. Whose audio is that's it. Well, I don't know. That's ridiculous. I don't know why I'm low. I always keep this thing up. That's what she said. I don't know, guys. I didn't even do anything. I don't know. You know what, guys? I love you guys, but now I'm just ticked off. I don't know if I can. That's what she said. How about that? I heard it. I heard a noise when I did that. I don't know. You know, I wish I had money. I don't have money. If I had money, I would go off and get myself a decent laptop. This tablet has worked for a while, and I don't understand what's going on. Maybe Mr. Paul's going to have to look at that new microphone set that's on it, so cat lady gave me, but I can barely read the writing on it. It's so small in that instruction booklet, it's ridiculous. It actually has batteries. There's launch batteries in the thing too. I don't get it. It's so strange. Okay, now you're just getting too technical. I don't know what the hell you mean by gain the boost, blah blah blah. I don't know. You lost me. I never. You know what? I never was an audiophile. I never was an audiophile. All right. Well, I'm sorry about all of this, guys. I really am. Okay. Well, thank you. All right. I think my guess is that I think maybe it is this microphone. It's either the microphone or it's the tablet where you put in the microphone hole. I said microphone hole. Oh, guys. I didn't have a bad day. I swear. I was looking forward to this, and then I get tech gremlins. You fucking tech gremlins. You're not in. All right. Well, maybe it is a short in the mic. You know, maybe Mr. Paul is going to have to bring this. Where's my glass? Let me show you. You guys are gonna laugh. You want a good laugh? Hang on a second. I can't see fine print. I haven't been able to since I was 51. So I gotta have these. I gotta have these on when I'm reading itsy bit. Like if I'm looking at liner notes to covers, I gotta go like this just to be able to see what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, maybe it is the cord. You know, this is the mic that came with this tablet. So it's probably a cheap piece of crap. Every time you move, a crackles fall. That's great. Well, see, Donna went off and got me I think it's a 20-foot cord. I could almost choke a horse with it. It all started with my internet giving me shit. Yes, Jim, it's all your fault. No, I'm kidding. I'm just fucking with you. Where did Rich go? I don't know. Well, yes, okay. As soon as I look at the instructions, I will. Yeah, this will be the last episode I will do with this mic. Okay, I promise that. So now that's three promises I've made. First promise, always carbon coffee each and every time. Second promise, I promise you no backing tracks during Psykos Platters. And the third promise, I will use the lav mic, which, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, is not to be confused with laboratory mic, which that's what Chuck Berry would have used in his Blueberry Hill nightclub. Why did Chuck Berry name his nightclub Blueberry Hill? Wouldn't it have been more better to use one of his fucking song titles? Yes. I want more footage of the Threedles. You know what I'm talking about. The 1994 Jam. I want that added to the anthology. Why do we not have it? I know the DVD supposedly did give us an extra 2 to 3 minutes. I know, right? Sick little bit. But you know what? I bet you all that time he was playing with. I'm doing this with Chuck Berry now. That doesn't sound like my ding-a-ling, my ding-a-ling. He would play with his ding-a-ling. That's sick. That would have been funny. No particular place to go. I don't blame you, Donna. I'd run off to bed too after hearing this abortion of a live stream. I mean, okay, that was his only number one hit. My Ding-a-Ling. None of his other songs made it to number one. None of them. And he had classics, and yet this is what in 1972. That's what gets him to number one. I'm going to tell you this, though. I don't really like Chuck Berry as a human being. I have read a lot of stories. He screwed over Johnny Johnson, his piano player. I would have loved to have met Johnny Johnson. Because Johnny supposedly, and I believe him, he co-wrote, I heard half of those hits, and he got zero credit. Yes. And you know what? That is a really cool one until Yoko opens her damn mouth. And you should have seen Chuck's reaction. Oh my God. And if I remember correctly, the Mike Douglas engineer was smart enough and shut her mic off for the second number. I'm like, oh, at least we got that. Donna knows about you. Chuck, it's me, your cousin Marvin Berry. You gotta listen to this. I love that part. That's a great part. Oh man. So I gotta tell you, I've lost 17 pounds since I started this no soda cutting my carbs. They say I got about 8 more pounds before they'll sign off. I have about 9 days to do it. But what you guys don't know is unfortunately, I ended up same leg, by the way. When I went to go to my urologist, which, by the way, I did okay. I had to have a yearly. You men know what I'm talking about. I hate that thing. But I showed the doctor my leg because the knee brace was rubbing against the outside of the knee, and it got infected. So I'm dealing with that now too. I can't win sometimes. I mean, I really don't have a lot to complain about. I know, right? That was like classic. Oh, yeah. And that part in Rock and Roll Circus, where of course she's got to open her big mouth during Dirty Mac. I don't even know what you call it, but that Ivers, the violinist, for some reason, for a little bit, that worked. It was real weird. I don't know if like the violin was covering up for Yoko or Yoko was coming from. See, okay, I'm going to tell you something, Jim. I am in no position to tell anybody what to do. I don't. But I will say this. You know, it is really hard to get off of soda. But if you can do it, 20 pounds like that, probably within 3 months. Seriously. If not sooner. The other thing is, like, okay, if you can't play that game right away, then the key is that stupid high fructose corn syrup, which is really difficult to break down. So if somehow you can do the slow progression of jumping off the soda pop to sweet tea, but make sure by looking at the label, because some sweet teas are high fructose corn syrup. The Lipton brand for Pepsi is high fructose corn syrup. But some of the sweet teas are sugar-based. So go to that at least. You know, make it like a transition. And then, you know, maybe unsweet tea, which is just colored water, I guess. I drink a lot of coffee. A lot of water. That helps to get rid of it. You know? So, but the energy drinks, I can't drink them. I remember the one time that I all thought I was having a heart attack. Do you guys have a favorite Paul McCartney best hits CD? Okay, so I don't know what's on Pure McCartney. I don't remember that one. But the immediate knee-jerk answer for me would be Wingspan. I remember buying Wingspan brand new. Johnny Nickel played with Zappa and they balled the cake and took that. I know, isn't that bullshit? Zappa was pissed at them for that. And speaking of that, obviously we did not get the 50th anniversary sometime in New York City. Yes, that's another option too. But look at the content of the seltzer water, because some of them are better than others. Some of them have the fake, not saccharin, the fake bullshit. You got to stay clear from that. That's why don't drink diet sodas. If you can't get off the sodas, stay on the regular soda. Don't take the diet sodas for now, because the diet sodas have that extra, and that'll get you even worse. Yeah. That's true, but like I said, just look at the thing and, you know, I mean, get the ones without the fake stuff. Wings great, all the good stuff without the latter-day pop. Okay, so I'm going to feel like a moron here. Are you talking about the 1978 album? Or are you talking about you're not talking about 1987's all the best, right? I get confused. Hey, listen, thanks a bunch, Jim, for stopping, even if the audio tech gremlins got me some. Oh, okay, good. Good. Okay. Like Polar. I don't know what Polar is. I feel like an idiot. Yes, no, Size 12, Fire Brigade. No, I don't need all the Michael Jackson stuff too. You know what's really funny though? Let me bring up Michael Jackson for 2 minutes. I'm Michael Jackson. No, because I brought it up at work yesterday. Uh, so I don't know about you guys, but in 1983, yes, I bought a copy of Thriller. I did, because I thought Thriller was a hell of a record. And I liked Michael Jackson's Off the Wall from '79, even though I did not buy that brand new. I think I bought that shortly before Thriller came out. And then you go to 1987's Bad. And I did buy that, pretty much brand new. Although I did not like that first single with Sadea Garrett, I Just Can't Stop Loving You. I thought that was way too schmaltzy, to be honest. But then you had Smooth Criminal and Dirty Diana, and there was a couple good killer bits on that thing. But then, by the time you get to 1990's Dangerous, he lost me. Because you had that Black or White song with Slash, and I'm like, I didn't like it. I didn't like that song at all. So, Michael Jackson got me on the hook for 2 albums out of his whole catalog. Hey, John, how are you? Well, yeah, of course. I love the Jackson 5 stuff, too. Truthfully, my favorite Jackson 5, Stop the Love You Say May Be Your Own. I don't know if that's the title or not, but I just love the way that all goes. That whole song structure is great. The Jackson 5 Victory album, on the other hand, though, oh boy. One of the biggest turds, in my opinion, State of Shock, Mick Jagger and Michael Jackson. Oh, that was dreadful. Very, very much so. Oh, dear God. Dead. A song about a killer rat. Ugh. And here's the other thing, though, for a second, just to the people that like Michael Jackson. Supposedly, I don't know, I heard there was 100 to 200 unreleased songs for Michael Jackson throughout his whole career. But yet, how many have come out? Seriously. I mean, you had the This Is It album, which had what, 1 or 2? And then there was another compilation that had 1 or 2. You had more to come out on Prince since Prince's death than Michael's. It's like, what the hell, man? Well, look at Sam here. You know what? You've been all over the place, Sam. I see looking on your Facebook. You are the traveling adventurer. Yeah, he's sub to Sam St. John. He's an awesome dude. He is. But I think probably we're going to wrap this up in a few minutes. I'm just kind of, I don't know. I'm kind of out of it and I need to go to bed. I know that sounds weird. When you get to be in your mid-50s, like this guy, I'll be 56 in September. Yeah, you might as well be. He might as well be. He could be one of the new traveling Wilburys. There you go. See, for Sam, it wouldn't be end of the line. See what I did? Okay, look, guys. Traveling Wilburys, I love that whole first album. I love it. Watching that end of the line music video with just Roy's guitar in the rocking chair, God, it just puts a tear to my eye every time I see it. It's like, shit. He died. Yeah, he died back up on top again. He did. And then that album, what's it called, Mystery Girl? I even like that album. Was He Got It on it? He was back in form. Like, damn it, Roy. Yeah, there's only 2 Wilburys left. But, I remember the stories where after Roy died, that there was two names that they were talking about. Del Shannon was one of them. Dwayne Eddy was the other for replacing Roy. And I understand Roy was irreplaceable, but I think I would have really loved to have seen either of them. You know, Walrus, I do get what you're saying, okay? I mean, let's face it. Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, oh God, why am I forgetting the fourth? Somebody tell me, please. My brain is not functioning today. I hate that. This coop brain pisses me off. You know, it's been like a year and a half now I've been like this. My girlfriend says I should try that Prevagen. I hope I put it. Yeah, that's it. Waylon, thank you. Waylon. You're right. That's a hell of a lineup. I almost had a chance to see the Highwaymen in St. Charles, Illinois. I should have gone, damn it. I can't remember why. Yes, thank you. Uh-oh. What are those goof boys up to? You know, for Waylon, the Duke of Hazard, there'll always be something. The other thing will be, well, I hope your bus freezes. Well, I hope your plane crashes. He took that to his grave. Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm going to change mics next time. Actually, I was practicing for the talking underwater part for the Uncle Albert Admiral Hall piece. Oh, it's across the water. It's across the sky. Never said I could sing. Ever. You guys want to see a goofy picture? This was taken Tuesday at my work. People were going around with bunny ears taking photographs. How about that? How stupid is that? There, now you all got something to chuckle about. I don't know. So yeah, I'll have to work on the next, I'll have to just get that mic set for the next one, and we'll try it. We'll run a test. Test for echo. No, that's Rush. But I think I am going to turn in, guys. I'm just a little out of it. Do me a favor, guys. I really love you guys. Employee. You know, it's been a while since I've been Employee of the Month. In June, if I'm still here in the hellhole, it'll be 16 years that I've been with this thing. 16. Missed it by that much. That's what smart would say. Let's see. I've been Employee of the Month 3 times, Cashier of the Month twice. 4 letters to the President for excellent customer service. Yeah, that's my record right now for this season. That's right, damn it, because somebody's got to stand up against all those veggies. I'll give them veggie tails. Come here, you stupid cucumber. You veggie tail people are going to get that one. Yes, I got kids and grandkids. Everybody knows it. Well, you know, I'm just burned out. You know, January, this past January, 29 years of my life I've done retail. I'll be 56 in September. 29 years of mine. And my first job I started when I was 15, technically. My first paycheck job. I was like a month or two before 60. And so, yeah, I mean, you're talking 40 years. And I just don't want to do it anymore. I don't mind being with the public. I just don't want to do it as much. Eventually, I'm hoping that Mr. Pretentious, that owns the record store, would hire me on part-time at his other location, because I'd love to do that. I wouldn't mind doing 20 to 25 hours a week working at the record store and turning on people and such. Hell, I even told him I would do videos from the store. You know that show Comic Book Men or Pawn Stars or Storage Wars? They need to do one with like people that run a record store. That'd be interesting. Yeah, I know, high infidelity, but like a TV show or short series. I think that'd be fun, to be honest. Yeah, well, that's why they're gonna replace this damn me. Now, George here is an excellent. He has an excellent fourth season. He does. You know, this man walks like a man. Great channel, though, seriously. He was talking about Beatles versus Four Seasons and showed that, which I'm very envious of, George. I would love to find one of those. And I know it's really dumb because it's just the cover that is the collectible part. You can get the vinyl separately. Introducing the Beatles in the Four Seasons greatest hits. But that is a cool set that you got. And I also love what you did with the Canadian minutia for the Beatles from Chum Radio and all that other stuff. You can imitate comic book guy. That is the first issue of Radioactive Man #1. Don't look at it. Don't even breathe on it. Oh, well, thank you. I still was going to say nice accolades to you anyway, whether or not, but thank you for letting me know, because I've got different things coming down the mail pipeline in the next week. As opposed to the pipeline, which that would be champagne, that's their job. Hey-oh! I miss that man, damn it. I met him in 2007. I told you that story for you regular people. It was pretty neat to meet that, out of all honesty. After reading lots of different things about Carson, even though Carson was the king of late night, I just heard Carson was a douche, most of the time. And I'm just like, that's kind of too bad. Because, obviously any late night show is going to have its bunch of writers and stuff like that. And I don't know. It's too bad. I mean, he was the king of late night for 30 years, and he earned it. He earned that title. But I also know that if you crossed him once, he never forgot. Look what happened to Joan Rivers. Oh boy. See, there you go. I don't like Jimmy Fallon. The only time I like him is with musical parodies and stuff. Thank you very much, George. Seriously. Yeah, he did smoke himself to death. Oh, there you go. 4 seasons. Oh boy. I can't pronounce that. I'm sorry. Nice. But George, I'm gonna pull your chain for a second here. Do you think that one of my future episodes of Shootbox from Hell should be the 4 Seasons Imitation Life Gazette from 1968? Now George won't talk to me anymore. I'm kidding, I think. I really have never heard that album. But George, maybe you can enlighten me, because it seems like a lot of 4 Seasons fans did not like that album. I know it was supposed to be a concept album at the time, if I remember right. You would know. more than anybody else. Wait a minute. You're talking about they get? I can't pronounce it. I need to find a copy first. I've only ever found, maybe in the 40 plus years of record collecting, I think I've only found twice that I've come across imitation life cassette. I don't know why I didn't get it. Now, George, I am happy that I picked up that copy of Chameleon, which I showed in a previous episode. I'm glad I got that on Mo West. I was pretty happy about that. I was like, oh wow, because I never saw that. I never saw that in 40 years of collecting. I have never come across it. I'm repackaging the envelope right now, and that would be grateful, because yeah, we would have to talk about that. I do. Now, George and I, we've talked privately, but eventually I really would like to have a discussion type video where we could actually bring up Four Seasons records, either, maybe not every single album, but we could do touchstones and things. And okay, see, there's some fans for that. But yeah, I mean, I just remember it. I can't remember where I heard it, but some people kind of groan about that album, so I need to hear it for myself, to be honest with you. And George, didn't they end up doing? Oh boy, I'm not. Maybe you're going to know this more than me. It was either on DJ or Phillips. Did they not cut a couple 45s under the Wonder Who moniker? Because I could have sworn that I remember seeing that thing. Chameleon's a great album in the Four Seasons, but yeah. See, I like Chameleon, and then I like, okay, some of that album, 70s Four Seasons, I like. One of my favorites, and yes, it was a hit, and I love it. Who Loves You? I have always loved that song. I will sing along with that in the car when it comes on the radio. Because I can't sing. Who loves you, pretty baby? Who loves you? Yeah, nobody wants to hear me sing. I'd rather hear Frank Valley. See, exactly. We'll have to do this. Thank you. Don't think twice. It's all right. Cover of Bob Dylan, if I remember correctly. Peanuts. See, okay, thank you. You know exactly what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, What a Night is not a bad song. It's different. But Who Loves You, just the whole thing works. It was, and no wonder why they made a disco version of it later. But I like the way the whole thing cooks. From Frankie to the harmonies to the band. It's like, damn, that thing is just like, gets you right good. Yeah, that is true. I do hear What a Night more than Who Loves You. Peanuts is a great tune, and Who Loves You is a right. You betcha on that Who Loves You. I'll have to listen to Peanuts. Yep. Yeah. All right. You know what, guys? You guys are totally awesome. I appreciate once again here for you guys sticking around with me. I'm sorry about the audio problems. I will try to get that lav mic, not lavatory mic. There's a new title for P.U. Pinchloaf's next out. No. P.U. Pinchloaf, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, I forgot to tell you, my son, John, is learning how to play the acoustic guitar because he loves Pink Floyd and Fleetwood Mac. And he wants to be, this is his striving point, he wants to be as good as Lindsey Buckingham on the acoustic guitar. I'm telling you, I love John. He's out of all my kids, I mean, I shouldn't say that because actually several of my kids have got to, but it's like John and me, we can talk a lot more about some of the music. Katie likes her Beatles. Mike, my oldest, loves Tony Bennett, Sam Cooke, Otis Redding, and some Christian stuff too, like Christian rock, 90s stuff, 2000s. But John, Fleetwood Mac, Pink Floyd, he's now getting into Hall & Oates, by the way, too. But he really wants to play. I know, right? Believe it or not, he told me that even though he loves Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here is the better album for him, he said. And I'm like, now I know you're my son, because that's how I feel also. Now, I love singing along on the radio to Wish You Were Here, but I really love singing Have a Cigar, because that song, by the way, which one's pig? I love Roy Harper for that. That's how I knew about Roy Harper. I did not know about Roy Harper until I heard that song. I'm like, who the hell's Roy Harper? Then I had to go backwards. And I think several of his albums, Jimmy Page plays on. I think Jimmy Page and somebody from Floyd plays on Roy Harper's. I want to say Dave Gilmour, I could be wrong, have played on Roy Harper's solo albums back then. Yeah, see, of course it does now, right? See, that's awesome. He does want to go to electric, but he wants to get the acoustic mastered first. Yep, hats off to Roy Harper. I've never come across any Roy Harper stuff. Never come across any of that. I'm surprised I found that Long John Baldry that I showed a few episodes ago. The one that was half produced by Elton and half Rod Stewart. That's not a bad record. Go seek that out, people. I think you may like it. There's lots of guest stars on that record. But, all right. I love you guys. Once again, thank you all for the last 12 years to get me to the 100,000 mark in views. I'd like to get to 1,000 subs. Maybe someday we will. Hopefully it's not going to take me 12 years. But seriously, if you haven't seen the new Jukebox with Peter Criss is Out of Control, go take a look at that for a minute or two, along with some of the other ones. I actually sent that video to Three Sides of the Coin, one of the best Kiss podcasts there is, and they actually put it on their channel. It's on their YouTube, my Facebook channel, excuse me. Well, thank you. Like I said, despite the audio problems, thank you very much, guys, for hanging with me and having the patience. Just take care. God bless. Rock on. Always powered by coffee each and every time. And by the time I do the next live stream, we'll have that lav mic going. No Chuck Berry, you're not invited. On Blueberry Hill. All right, guys. I love you. Take care.